Okay, now I'm going to exit out of the application and go ahead a few more days on my computer to simulate a few days passing in time. I'm going to make it July 11th is when the extra score feature will reset. So let's set it to that. You will also be able to see the missed days feature now. When you open up iWatchr, if you have any missed days, iWatchr will be able to detect them and notify you that it has been more than a day since you last used the application. It then gives you the option to add those missed days so that you can log foods for them. So simply choose whether or not you want to add the missed days. I'm going to add them just so that you can see how the missed days feature works. Once you hit sure, all the days that you had missed will pop up. Then logging foods for this day is simple as logging foods for any other day. Just select on the day and it will bring you to the details view so you can log foods. Notice it only adds the missed days. It doesn't include the actual day for today. To do that day, you just need to hit the new day button like you normally would. So adding the missed days only adds the ones you actually missed. And also notice that they're still in blue because we're still in our current week. But now when we add the new day for July 11th, notice that iWatchr has detected it's been more than 7 days since you turned on the extra score feature. It just simply notifies you that 7 days has passed and that it's going to be reset. It also gives you a little quick information about the color-coded days, the red and the blue. So just hit OK to get back to your logs. Notice that the days are still blue, but the next time that you open iWatchr, it will update its daily log to reflect the date change. Now all your previous days are in red, and the new day for July 11th is the only one in blue. Also notice that your extra point score has been reset to 35. Let's go back into settings. The next thing we have in settings is calculator. Under calculator, there's a setting called type. This is where you change between the version formulas to use for the calculator, American or European. As I said earlier when we initially went over the calculators, American is the default setting. If you want the European, just select European. And when you open up iWatchr and go to the calculator tab, you will now see that the European calculator is in place. This calculator works just the same as the American. Just enter in the values in the different fields and hit go on the keyboard. The one significant difference is that the European calculator uses calories or kilojoules. It does not use both. If you were to enter a value into both fields, iWatchr will notify you not to use both and only choose one or the other. At that point, just simply empty out one of the fields and use the other field as you wish. So we'll type in some numbers here. This European calculator has the same about page as the American version one did. If you want to display decimals in these calculators, both American and European, that's the next setting underneath calculator types in the settings application. Under type, we have edible formulas and decimals rounding. Decimals rounding gives you the option to use decimals when using the calculator. The edible formulas enables you to enter your own formula into the calculator. So let's turn both of them on for a second and reopen up iWatchr. Now when you go to the calculator tab, you will notice that the formula button is now active. With that edible formulas feature turned on in settings, the calculator does not have a built-in formula to work with it. You have to provide it one. To do so, hit this formula button. You will be presented with a screen where you can enter in your formula. To make changes to these different parts of the formula, just simply touch on the row you want to change and change anything that you would like. You could change a different type of equations and the numbers to perform them against. Notice the OR button here. This is for the European calculator only, and this is just to remind you that the European formula uses calories with saturated fat or kilojoules with saturated fat, not both. Looking at that formula and seeing how I enter the numbers into here should give you an idea of how this works. Notice the calories are divided by 66. Kilojoules are divided by 300. You take one of those calculations, because we have the or here, and add that to saturated fat divided by 4.12. Now looking at this equation and the formula that you see on the screen, it should be pretty simple to figure it out. If you have another formula that you would like to use, just simply change the numbers as you see fit to use the formula. When you're done setting up your formula, just hit the Done button, and all those settings have now been saved to iWatchr's memory. You should never have to enter them in again. The only time you would want to is if you wanted to change the formula. But you do not have to enter in that formula each time you use the calculator. You just do it once, and that's it. Now that we put in our own formula, let's see if the calculator is working well again. And as you can see, the decimal result, since we have the decimals rounding turned on in settings. Also notice that the result is rounded off to the nearest half point. That's the way that the European version calculators have always been, so that's the way it is in iWatchr. Now let's exit out of iWatchr again and open up settings. The last few settings that iWatchr has pertains to the bonus calculator. Remember I said earlier, when using the bonus calculator, you can enter your weight in pounds or kilograms. This is where you would set that. If you want to use pounds, you can leave it as is. If you want to use kilograms, there's a kilograms option here that you could set it to. The bonus calculator also has the decimals rounding. This works the same way as the other decimal roundings throughout settings. It just so allows you to use a decimal point when calculating bonus points. So let's set that on. I'm also going to turn the edible formulas feature off. This edible formulas feature, although under the calculator, does pertain to the bonus calculator as well. So when this feature is on, it affects both calculators. You would need to put a formula in each one if this feature is turned on. I'm going to turn it off now just to show you how the bonus calculator works with using kilograms. So let's exit out of settings and go into iWatchr. And when you go to the bonus tab, you'll notice now that the bonus calculator has kilograms instead of pounds. This is just a little reminder of what you should be entering in when entering in your body weight. So let's try a little calculation using kilograms. Notice we have a decimal point here now as well. And just like before when using the calculator with pounds, you could try the different types of exercise to see the different values of points that you would have earned. And that concludes this video on learning the different features of iWatchr. I hope this video was helpful for you in answering some of your questions. If not, please don't hesitate to contact me at support@devoleapps.com.